So last year, as part of the 50th anniversary of Nike's first ever running shoe, the Nike Cortez, we saw a couple of collaborations, one with Sakai and also one with Union. And in 2023 we have another collaboration, but this time with Clot, the fashion brand owned by Edison Chen. And as part of this, Nike and Clot have come together to create not just one sneaker, but in fact a sneaker that you can wear in 3 different ways, which also has some Kung Fu inspired themes. Now this one definitely caught my eye, so fortunately I got a W. Really happy to have it in hand. I'm really happy to add this unique and very polarizing sneaker to the collection. So let's check it out. Hey, what's going on? Lukas here back with another video. And today I'm checking out the Nike Clot, also known as the Clotez, in the Forrest Gump colourway. Thanks for checking out the video. If you're new to the channel and you like all kinds of content related to sneaker culture, be it unboxings, reviews, opinions, etc., please do subscribe and also hit the notification bell to be notified when I do drop new videos. And if you do enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel grow. And also, feel free to drop a comment in the section down below. Now today I'm checking out the latest colorway of a recent collaboration between Nike and Clot on the classic Cortez silhouette, which not only is inspired by Kung Fu, but also is an homage to the classic Forrest Gump film. And that is the Nike Clot, aka Clotez, in the Forrest Gump colourway. So this sneaker drops last month for a retail price of £124.95 here in the UK, or $150 out in the US. And although it did sell out on the sneakers app, there are still pairs available at boutiques and other tier 0 stores. I'll leave links to those in the description down below if you want to go check those out. And for me, it was an interesting one because I do like Clot and I do like the Cortez sneaker. And I know that Clot is very unique in some of their collaborations, and I wanted to kind of see it in hand and check it out for myself. Obviously it was a Leo release, I put in my size, waited, pending, obviously got the Gollum screen, and after a couple of days I got them in hand. Now the first thing that I noticed was the box that it shipped in was huge, and this kind of didn't make sense to me until obviously I started unboxing and it kind of made sense, and obviously we'll talk about that in the review. So for those who don't know, Clot is a fashion brand owned by Edison Chen, and they've collaborated with Nike and also Jordan brand on quite a few different releases. So the Nike Cortez sneaker first dropped in 1972 and was Nike's first running sneaker they brought to market very soon after they established themselves as a company. And it was the sneaker that launched the brand and obviously would transform it from the small tiny brand that it was back then to the major powerhouse that it is in the sneaker market today. Last year was the 50th anniversary and we saw a couple of collaborations, one with Union and one with Sakai, to name but a few. Whereas in 2023 it was Clot's turn to collaborate with Nike on the sneaker, and they decided to put a completely different spin on it, adding inspiration to classic Kung Fu films and obviously the styling of the shoes that martial arts fighters would wear. This is actually the 3rd colorway that's dropped. So there's been a black and white kind of panda colorway, and there's also been a black and yellow colorway which is inspired by Bruce Lee. But for the 3rd colorway, Nike and Clot decided to flip the script and go way back into the archives and bring the original colorway of the Nike Cortez. And the reason why it's called the Forrest Gump is because this is the sneaker that was featured in the film when Jenny hands in a pair of sneakers on his porch, and then obviously then there's the famous Forrest Run scene where he's also wearing the Cortezes. But for me, you know, this colorway is very easy to wear. I do have Cortezes in my collection, obviously a few years back now, so to have a more recent pair is definitely a nice addition. But obviously with Clot's spin and twist on the whole concept, I think it's a very interesting sneaker and really have to have it in the collection. So let's check out the details. So the first thing you'll notice is that it's a special box and packaging for the collaboration. And as you can see, it's an extra large box to what you would normally get with a pair of sneakers. Now, even though I'm a size 13 UK, 14 US, it's still a huge box. It's definitely something that's going to stand out in your collection. Obviously, we're still at the top, we've got obviously the black and white for like the yin and the yang. So again, hinting back to that kind of Kung Fu element. And so you've got obviously black on the top, white here, and then obviously Nike across the top in that kind of glossy black, and obviously goes into that greyish colour here, and then obviously you've got the Nike swoosh underneath that goes there and then fades into the white. We turn to the side down here, you can see you've got more Kung Fu posing, and obviously then you've got Nike right here for Nike. If you turn to the back on this side, you've got additional Kung Fu poses, but then in this side you've got CLOT for Clot. Oh no, you've just got a Nike logo right here. So size tag reads Nike Cortez Clot, and the colourway is white game royal. So pop the lid. The first thing you'll notice is you've obviously got the sneakers right here, and you've got these two additional insoles right here, and obviously that'll become apparent as we go through the sneaker. Then we have tissue paper here, and obviously you've got Nike logos, Clot logos right here, and again you've got poses from, you see on the outside, again with the N letter right here, the C right here, and obviously N's, obviously Nike and Clot, and then again you've got the yin and the yang symbols right here. Peel that back, you've got the same kind of detailing on this piece as well. Peel that back. Then we've got the sneaker, so it's the Nike Clot or Clotez in the Forrest Gump colourway. So I'll take these out, so you can see you've got your Clot logo in red and your Nike logo right here. But the rest of this we'll come back to later in the review, so stick around. So here we have a sneaker, and this is the first of 3. And obviously we'll talk about it as we go through the review, as we start deconstructing it. Starting in the outsole, just standard Cortez outsole. So you've just got this very unique kind of zigzagged tread pattern here. You've got the Nike and swoosh right here in white, and that's just obviously embossed, as you can see. You turn to the side, you've got the midsole, as you can see right here. You've got this dark blue element right here coming around all the way from kind of the midfoot all the way around the back and to the other side. As we go up the upper, you've then got the next element, which is a kind of mesh material, and this is kind of almost like a sleeve, and that just basically encompasses the second element of the sneaker, which we'll talk about in a second. If you turn to the back, you've then just got the kind of drawstring here, and you've got a yin and a yang symbol right there. Obviously you pull this back, and then it allows, there's more flexibility for this. So what we'll do is we'll take out the first part of the sneaker, and inside this you've got Nike Cortez Clot, and then some additional branding, as you can see right here, and then we also have a size tag inside right there. Now what we'll do is take the insole that you saw previously, we'll add this into here, as you can see, and this then becomes a slip-on shoe. And so what you do, you just put your foot in, and it's kind of like a slipper that you could, you know, walk around the house in. Potentially you could go outside, but I wouldn't trust it. So this probably for me would be kind of a, you know, a casual around the house kind of slipper, and I think it's, you know, quite unique, not something you see every day. So obviously we take that out, and then you would then add this in to create the full sneaker. So what we'll do is just put it to one side, and we'll now take a look at this part of the sneaker. So here we have the second part of the sneaker, and this is your kind of more traditional laced up shoe, shall we say. And if you turn to the outsole on this one, it's kind of a more rubber outsole right here with different tread patterns, but it's very thin, as you can see. And this is more for, like, you know, when you're doing Kung Fu, you're inside, and obviously you're training, you're going to wear a much different sneaker to one outside, and this is kind of more of what traditionally, you know, people doing Kung Fu will wear. And I think it's quite an interesting touch. Now, obviously, how you're going to wear this shoe, would you wear this outside? Possibly. Again, you've got to bear in mind it's got very thin outsole. There could be potential, you know, pressure on your foot, which obviously you might want to be aware of. Now, obviously, if we look at the sneaker, the upper pretty much starts straight up from the base of the outsole, and this is a leather, you know, your standard Cortez leather, I would say. And if you go up the sneaker, you see you've got your red swoosh right here in this leather right here. That then feeds into the back of the sneaker. We turn to the front, and obviously up the toe box, you can see, again, you've got that leather element here, and obviously do a pressure test, you can see right there. As we go up the sneaker, you've got your standard, you know, white laces that come with pretty much any Cortez. What's interesting though is these are actually laced up and tied. So noticed a couple of Nike sneakers recently that they've started to change the way that they ship the sneakers, because usually they'd be kind of tied up in a different way like this, but what they've done now is they've actually tied it so it's in a standard bow. It's quite interesting. As we look at the tongue, it's a mesh tongue, so again, to give that breathability. At the top of the tongue, you've then, on the tag, you've just got the Clot logo in white on this red background, so I think it's quite a nice little contrast. And then if we go inside the sneaker, you have these interesting cardboard, almost like shoe trees. So again, just giving that kind of more traditional Chinese element, I would say. It's not something you see every day in sneakers, so it's quite a nice little touch. And then inside the sneaker itself, you've got a very thin sock liner, and the material again feels suede. So again, that's different. Again, it's not something you see every day on a sneaker, but it is very thin. So it's just something to bear in mind that obviously this is not going to give you much protection. So it is possibly, you know, for just walking around in, maybe running a couple of errands. But personally, I probably would never wear it this way. But I just think it's just interesting what Clot have done with Nike to obviously showcase, you know, that kung fu element. Going to the back of the sneaker, you've got kung fu in Chinese writing right here. If we look on the left sneaker, you can see it's got, you know, kung fu in those traditional Chinese language right there. So I think it's quite a nice touch. And then obviously the last detail is on the insole. You've got the Clot logo, yin and yang symbols, and then Nike right there in red. So I think that's quite nice. But again, it's on a very thin insole, so just something else to bear in mind. As I mentioned, you can wear the sneaker in 3 ways. So you have this way with the insole, so it's kind of a slip-on shoe. And then you've got the second way you can wear it, which is obviously this more kind of kung fu inspired, very thin outsole. And obviously then the standard kind of Cortez sneaker right there. And then obviously if you take out this, and then add this in, you've then got the final way that you can wear it, which is more of a traditional sneaker. So just 3 different ways you can wear it. As you can see from the on feet, I think it's interesting how it looks. It's definitely not something you see every day, and I think, you know, it's a very unique sneaker. Here's the right sneaker. Take a quick look at the left. Left sneaker is exactly the same. 2 differences are you've got your Nike logo on the tongue instead of the Clot logo right there. You've got your Nike and Swedish writing there, and obviously on the back you've got the kung symbol instead of the fu symbol. So again, that's just one little detail right there. Other than that, the sneaker is pretty much the same. So yeah, just wanted to show that. In terms of sizing, I went true to size, and that fits fine. I do have a wide foot, so the toe box is a little bit narrow, but for me, true to size does work fine. I've got a pair of Clotez's and I went true to size in them, and they've always fitted me fine. It does pinch a little bit on the foot, so just to bear that in mind. But if I went up a half size, I feel they would be too big. So it's kind of a happy medium for me. In terms of resale, so these retail for £124.95. Last sale on StockX was £133. So it's going just over retail, and obviously with fees, it's going to be a little bit more. But if it was something you were interested in, you could definitely pick it up for a very reasonable price. It's interesting it hasn't gone under retail, because to me it's a very unique sneaker that is not going to appeal to a mass market or a huge secondary market, in my opinion. And that could be part of the reason why the price has stayed the same, because of the limited availability of pairs, certainly in my size. So yeah, if you wanted a pair, you could definitely pick up a pair for a good price. So go check that out. So what do you think of the sneaker? Did you cop on this or did you pass? What do you think of the kind of 3 different elements? Is there a one you would wear specifically, like maybe the sleeve with the insole, maybe just the standard sneaker right there with the thin outsole? Personally, I feel that I'd only wear it in this way, but again, it's a very unique style. It's definitely going to turn heads, I feel, but it really comes down to personal preference. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. So thanks for taking the video. If you did enjoy this content and want to see more similar content, please do subscribe and also hit the notification bell to be notified when I do drop new videos. And if you did enjoy today's video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel grow. And until next time, take it easy. I'll see you in the next video.